The Pilgrim's Progress. There once was a man named Christian who lived in the city of destruction, a place filled with noise, greed, and sorrow. One night, reading a book that spoke of salvation and judgment, he was struck with fear. The words burned in his heart. Flee from the wrath to come. He knew he must leave, though his family and neighbors laughed at him. He packed a small burden and set out on the road, weeping for what he left behind, but longing for a place called the Celestial City, a city of peace and eternal light. At first, the road was easy, and he walked with a man named Evangelist, who pointed him toward a distant gate shining faintly in the hills. But soon, Christian fell into a deep bog called the Slough of Despond, sinking into doubt and despair. Just when he thought he would drown, a stranger named Help reached out and lifted him free, saying, "Keep your eyes on the light ahead." He pressed on, burden heavy upon his back. When he reached the gate, a man named Goodwill opened it and welcomed him in. "The journey is long," said Goodwill, "but every step brings you closer to truth." Inside, Christian met Interpreter, who showed him visions of wisdom, a man sweeping a dusty room cleansed only when sprinkled with water, a fire burning despite attempts to extinguish it. "The fire," Interpreter said, "is the grace of the Spirit. The dust is sin. Only grace can cleanse the heart." Continuing, Christian came to a hill where he saw a cross. As he looked upon it, his burden loosened and rolled from his back, tumbling into a grave below. He wept with relief, feeling light for the first time. "I am free," he whispered. Soon he met two companions, faithful and hopeful. Together they walked through fair meadows and dark valleys, through cities and wilderness. In the valley of humiliation, Christian faced the monster Apollyon, who roared, "You are unworthy of this journey?" But Christian fought with the sword of truth and won. In the valley of the shadow of death, the path narrowed. Darkness surrounded them, and whispers of despair filled the air. Yet they walked on, guided only by the faint light of their faith. At last, they reached Vanity Fair, a great city of distraction, where merchants sold everything the heart could desire: gold, pleasure, power, and fame. But Christian and Faithful refused to buy. "We seek the Celestial City," they said. The crowd mocked them. Soldiers arrested them. Faithful was tried and put to death, but Hopeful escaped with Christian. Grieving but resolute, they pressed on, crossing deserts and mountains. Along the way, they met deceivers like Ignorance and Doubting, who tried to lure them from the path. But they remembered Evangelist's words: "Truth is not found in comfort, but in endurance." Finally, they came to the river of death, wide and deep. There was no bridge, no way around. Christian trembled, but Hopeful said, "Fear not, brother. The King will meet us on the other side." Holding hands, they stepped into the cold water. The current pulled hard, and Christian cried, "I am sinking." But Hopeful answered, "Be strong. I feel the bottom, and it is firm." They crossed together, and when Christian's feet touched the far shore, the clouds broke. Before them stood the gates of the Celestial City, radiant with light. Angels welcomed them, singing, "Well done, faithful pilgrim. Enter into joy everlasting." Christian looked back once, remembering the road, the burden, the battles, the pain. He smiled and said, "The path was hard, but the end is peace." He stepped through the gate, and the light embraced him. His journey, though long and filled with trial, was the story of every soul, the passage from fear to faith, from darkness to grace, from the city of destruction to the Celestial City of eternal rest.